Indeed. Is it a deeper deep or just a regular size deep?
Design tips for you guys.
You love using the iPad, right, ARmandi? You're using the iPad. That's what you're showing us now on the screen share. And within the apps on iPad and the stuff in that iOS marketplace, there's a lot of great options, correct?
That's right. So right now, James, can you just see my iPad desktop? Can you see the apps that I have around?
I can, and I'm so tempted to tell you to launch Step and go ahead and be running while you're teaching us, but I won't.
I do have a step. I do have a Steppen here. You can see.
I see it.
I use
Love it.
I use Steppen on my iPad, to move things around, stuff like that.
Perfect.
So so I use the 75% of my workflow is on my iPad. It's something that I decided when I start my major on graphic design. For me, it was all about mobility. And before getting my iPad with my Apple Pencil, when you get into graphic design, people, they tell you to get those tablets that connect to your computer, but I never had the grip of those, because those pens, they have delay and stuff like that. So for me, it wasn't that great. It was until the first time that I tried the Apple Pencil that I was like, holy, this is exactly what I wanted, because the response is immediate. So it was for me a hook, and I decided to make all my major. I finished my major in graphic design using only my iPad, right? So
what's that popular one, ARmandi? There's a popular one that everybody recommends, like a bamboo or something like that, isn't it? That plugs into PC.
Yes, it's Intuos.
Yeah.
Intuos is the most popular, but even that I had a high-end tablet, not because they have one with a display. I got the one below that it doesn't have the display, just connects into your computer. But those pens, like they have parallax and delay, and for me it didn't feel that intuitive, so I didn't like it that much. But on the other way, trying to make your workflow around the iPad makes you discover many applications that you can use, and they're not that expensive either. So, for example, I will recommend, if you have an iPad, a regular iPad, because right now every iPad can use an Apple Pencil, Procreate is the way to go, because it's very simplistic and it's very powerful. But also, I have other applications for you, like Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. They're free. Well, not free. They're like $15, $20 on your iPad, right? It's just like, it's not that much. And they have, like, Affinity Photo is like Photoshop, and Affinity Designer is like Illustrator. I use Photoshop and Illustrator, but I'm giving you guys other applications that you can actually jump in to try to use the tips that I'm going to give you with Procreate.
Perfect.
Excellent. So here, you guys, I'm going to see in Procreate that I have my, I'm going to call it my desktop of heroes here. And today, what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to show you a little bit of the process on how to polish your heroes. I'm going to jump a little bit on Midjourney just to show you some stuff that you guys can do. But first, I want to jump into the interface and the specs that I use. Usually, when I open a hero, I like it high definition. So usually, I use a canvas of 3,000 by 3,000. because that will give me a nice, good resolution. Even if you have a GMT art, if you grab that GMT art and place it into your canvas with 3000 resolution, it will boost the resolution of the image without you doing anything. Not just in Procreate, but in other applications as well. So that's why I like to work on 3000 pixel resolution. And then, for example, here, okay, I have a hero that I'm going to polish with you guys. And while I'm polishing the hero, I'm going to tell you what tools can you use. And these tools, you can use them other places in Photoshop and in Illustrator, well, in other applications, right? So for example, here we have a hero, right? We have a hero. This is going to be a nuclear martyr. In this case, this nuclear martyr, you know, a mutant that was exposed with radiations and just became like a beast and stuff like that. So we have this hero that I made using Midjourney. Let me jump into, I need to see how to, let me jump there. And I import this hero, I imported into Procreate, right? But there's many things that I need to polish about this hero. So in the first question that I'm gonna give you guys, I'm gonna give away some of my hero cards. Remember, if my heroes get selected, I will raffle GMTs among the holders of those hero cards. Doesn't matter how many cards you collect. If you're selected, you will get extra GMT if my heroes get selected. So the first question that I'm gonna give you guys is like, in this hero, what things would I polish?
Be the green in the background, you think? Sharpen up kind of where that splash is behind him?
Yes, that is one thing. There's other small details. I'm gonna try to show you some small details that you guys think we could polish here. Let me zoom out. Zoom in, I mean.
How about the lighting? Like if the lighting's coming from one direction and certain areas look too dark, do you try to brighten up the lighting in certain areas?
Okay, and now, okay, so you're talking about the composition, but right now, for example, I'm talking about the hero design. If you see, for example, here in the leg, we have how many fingers or claws, or how many? Like we have 6. If you see, one is coming here. Do you see one extra? This one extra there. If you see here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. That's fine, okay. But if we jump in here, for example, in this part, it looks weird, okay? These small details.
Yeah.
So those are the things. Oh, for example, here, if you see the consistency of this of this feet, and this one is not consistent, right? Like it doesn't look the same. So we have, and in this part, it looks weird as well. So we have many things to polish if you want to make it great, right? Like, of course, you can skip these things, but if you want to make it great, you should focus on polishing these small details. How are we going to polish these small details? Well, your first best friend is something that it's called the smudge tool. If you go on my top right corner, you're gonna see a small a brush icon, and then you're gonna see like a hand pointing out. Can you guys see that? Can you see that, James?
Yep.
Okay. So the smudge tool, what it does is it blends the pixels around your composition. For example, I want to remove this extra peak that's coming out from the claw. what I'm doing is I just select the smudge tool and I paint over. Do you see?
Yeah. So it's using the background.
It's using the background around that claw to paint the same pixels of the background and removing the claw that I don't like. Okay?
Love it. When I do that on Microsoft Paint and I select a color, the color never matches the background right because it doesn't like fade and transition. It just looks like a color that doesn't match. So smudge blurs it in.
So that's right. And that smudge tool, like something that you need to understand is like these tools, they have brushes. So also make sure that you select the right brush. Like for example, here I'm using a soft brush that allowed me with my Apple Pencil to polish that composition as perfect as I want. But for example, if I use a hard brush here, hard blend, the hard blend will be tougher, so it doesn't look that great, right? If you see, it doesn't look that great. So try to, when you're using the smudge tool, try to use a soft brush. A soft brush means that the center holds the most amount of pixels, but the edges of the brush, they're very light. In that way, the transition doesn't come that harsh. And of course, you can, if I zoom out, it will look not that great, but it doesn't matter because we don't need to polish it that much. We just need to make it perfect for the image, on a mobile screen. So just that smudge tool is just perfect to polish. Like for example, I want to remove this part. So I just play around. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the better you get, the better you get using it.
Correct. That's awesome.
Yes. Okay. So see how easy and fast it is to remove these small things, but it's just practice. It's just practice.
Sometimes I see you doing more of a tap, 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 and other times I see you do more of a stroke, stroke. So is it just based on the colors that are around it, and you tap if you want it to be like that same dark color that was there, where in the other green area you were doing more of a stroke in order to get that green blend?
That's right. That's right. If I do a stroke, it will, check it out. I'm gonna do a stroke. See what smudge does. Do you see?
Yeah.
This is what happened when I do a stroke.
Stretches it out. Almost like it's like a watercolor paint. You're just smearing it across the canvas.
That's right. If I tap, what I do is I reset where where the brush is taking the pixels.
Match the background. Makes sense.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, but this is, once that you use it, it's very intuitive. Like once that you learn to use it, it's very intuitive when to do a brush. Like for example, to do a stroke, let's imagine that I want to move like this. This part, it's darker than everything that it's surrounding, right? So so if I do a quick stroke, I can move exactly the black part all around. Do you see?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so that's our first tool. It's going to be smudge tool, and that's fantastic for people. You can use this on Photoshop, but just remember, if you want to use this kind of tools on Affinity Designer, remember to grab the right brush. And usually I will recommend you guys a soft brush like the ones that you can see here, where the middle is, it's where all the pixels are, and then on the edges just soften. Okay.
Yep. I got a question for you. You mentioned earlier about zooming all the way out. You realize that this overall image is going down into a little mobile app, right? But it also becomes an individual NFT that people can zoom in on. But I know in my past experience with like Twitch emotes that are really small and that you put in chat, like an emoji, if you put too much detail in it, once you make it really, really small, you really can't even see facial expression and stuff on it, because it's like there's too much there once it's shrunk. So are you trying to think about that as you're designing these to like make them a little bit more simple so that it you can see the stuff once it's tiny? Or are you looking for more like the accurate design for when it's blown up as an individual NFT?
If you're looking at me grabbing my canvas, I usually what I do is I zoom in and I'm zooming out everything always.
You can see what it looks like tiny and what it looks like zoomed in.
Yes. Because as you're saying, sometimes just a lot of details just make it like not that great, right? But for example, if I grab this hero, at least I can see the glowing eyes. And if I zoom all the way, I have more details, right? If I zoom out all the way, but overall, if I show someone this from a mobile screen, like for example, right now here I'm zooming in out as much as I wanted to show you guys this. Well, the overall composition of the hero, it shows, right? It shows the icon, it shows the helmet, it shows even the logo that I'm using to, like this small eye that represent my logo in a simplified way. Instead of using this more complex logo in my heroes, I'm adding this small eye that represent my designs, right? So yeah, usually, and that's one of the things that I like with my iPad, because this zoom in and zoom out is just pinching. I just pinched it with my fingers, right?
Really fast, yeah. What do you call that?
It's
logo?
really fast.
Is that the eye of ARmandi?
It's the eye of ARmandi. That's right. I got it everywhere. Check it out. That's part. Okay, so one of the things that I encourage you guys when you're creating is that, like, you guys need to create a symbol that represents you in your creation, because in that way it's more personal to you. It matters more for you because it represents, like, now every time that people will see the hero, even if they don't recognize that symbol, you know is your hero. So you own that more. So I really encourage you guys to create a symbol that represent whatever you want to show to the community to make it more personal. Okay, so now I have the smudge tool. That's a great tool. The other tool that I'm going to show you guys is, and we have it in other application, is the liquify tool. Okay, the liquify tool, I'm gonna jump in here, is just down in the bottom, liquify tool. And what the liquify tool will allow me is, like, sometimes when you're generating these images, maybe the face is bigger, or one of the feet or one of the hands are smaller, and you want to make them bigger. And when you use a liquify tool, what it does is exactly that. It allows you to do many things with the pixels without messing up, like the smudge tool. Like, for example, with the smudge tool, every brush will change the pixels around. But with the liquify tool, I will be able to move pixel around without actually screwing the pixels. I don't know if you guys can understand.
That's cool.
So, for example, here, if you see, I'm using the liquify push tool. So, for example, if something is not in the right place, I can just move it a little bit, right?
That's awesome, man.
Polish it as much as I can. Like, if there's some stuff that don't belong to that space, I can just polish them like that, right? Just with the push. And you have this option on other applications. Don't think it's just Procreate. But for example, if I want to make this,
right? These are common tools across lots of different apps, and
yes,
and that's right. Cool, and I have no idea what it's used for.
That's right. So, for example, I want to make this hand smaller. Check it out. I can make it smaller.
Very cool.
Okay, so liquify and smudge, it's going to be your best friends. something, right? So they're going to be your best friends to polish your designs the easiest way. Like seriously, it's just learning how to move it's just learning to use the brushes, right? Yep. And these are powerful tools to keep the overall design as polished as you want. And now, okay, so I have that one. That we have a smudge tool and we have liquify tool. If anyone guys have questions in the chat, ask if you can check that, James. Just let me know because I cannot see. Okay. Now another tool that I want to give you guys when you're making your compositions. Some people don't know this, but when you're a designer, you're very familiar with color wheels. Color wheels will help you to make the best composition, choosing the right colors for your composition. Okay, so let's imagine I want to change. Let me do very quickly. Let me do something very quickly, just for the purpose of showing you guys what I want to do with this. Let's imagine that I want to change the color of this lion, okay? I want to make it, instead of green, I want to make it yellow. But now, as you see, the composition actually looks great. Green and orange looks great. Like, I think gray or green, orange, and some touches of brown makes the composition looks amazing. But once that I'm changing the color to yellow, those mix of colors, they don't work that great. So in design, we have something that we call the color wheels. In here, you're gonna see a color wheel, right? And then I want to show you guys this option: complementary, split complementary, analogous, triadic, and tetradic. These are the compositions. Like, for example, if I want to change that green into yellow, it will give me the best complementary colors that I can use to substitute the other ones to make it look better. I don't know if you guys can understand this part.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I always wonder about that. Like, you see in brand guidelines and stuff, how there'll be 4 colors for a brand and how they complement each other. You try to get colors that match. So this color wheel actually lets you know, if I've got green, these are the other colors that will complement it.
That's right. So, for example, and you can choose between, if you want just 3 colors or 4 colors or 2 colors. So in that way, you will use the best colors for your composition. So checking the color wheels and their compositions will help you to make it better compositions, okay? As you see, once that I change colors, the complementary colors change in real time.
So then can you highlight spots on the design and then it'll change multiple colors? I saw where you kind of like shaded in the beard yellow and you could like adjust the color of the beard. We'll do multiple colors throughout the image at the same time?
That will be if you use different layers.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so let's go to another one. Once that you have your overall design, as you guys see, I have here my hero, okay? This is the hero that I got from Midjourney. I encourage you guys to start using layers because layers allow you to work on top of your design without actually disrupting the initial design. And that's very important because sometimes you screw up or you messed up and going back, it may be more troublesome. So if you work on layers, you can work on top of each other, and once that you like the result, you can merge them. So for example, what I did with the color layer is I opened a new layer.
Oh, cool.
a new normal layer, and I just use a brush, a soft brush to paint yellow all around. And then this is another tip, blending modes. Blending modes is something that allow you to change the structure, the color of the layer in relation with the layer in the bottom. So for example, here, if I use this brush, this yellow brush, as you can see, it doesn't relate with my composition below, okay? But if I use a blending mode, multiply, darken, color burn, linear burn, lighten, color dodge, add, light color, overlay. Can you guys how that color now is interacting with my layer below?
Cool. I got a quiz question for you, Armandi.
Yes.
You mentioned about screw ups and doing screw ups on different layers. Who was the famous artist that said screw ups are nothing more than happy accidents?
I forgot the name of Bob Ross. Bob Ross, of course.
Yeah.
It is. You know, sometimes when you do something that is messed up, you realize actually it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's difficult? Remember how you actually screwed that up. Sometimes when you're so guys, blending modes. Okay, these terms I want you to write down because later you can just search more information about them and then apply it into your workshop. So we have smudge tool, we have liquify tool, and we have blending modes. Blending modes will allow you to interact with colors on your composition. I'm going to show you something that I do with blending modes. Very simple. Let's see, I have here the icon of the nuclear martyr, right? So what I do is I want this icon, I want to place it into my composition. So what I do is I will select the icon, copy paste it, and now I have this icon here, but I want to blend it into my hero. So
Put it on his belt?
yeah, I'm gonna place it here in this part where like a stand, like a flag. And then I can play around with the blended modes to see which one will look better.
Wow. That's too cool.
If the color doesn't work, I can just change the color and to see which blending mode will work better.
That's awesome.
To the overall composition. If I want maybe like a tattoo here on the chest, right? Like, let me.
Oh, look, it goes right into the layers. Like it wraps around his abs. That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So blending mode is going to be your third best tool that you guys can actually use to make that better composition. Because overall, if you let the AI do the whole work, it will create great designs, but it will be not personalized for you. And I think personalized is very, very important. Okay?
Gotta get the Eye of Armandi
So,
on there.
yes, I have the Eye of Armandi. If I grab it here, for example, sometimes blending modes help you with the lighting of the thing that you're trying to blend. Sometimes, as you see, for example, here, the Eye of Armandi is popping. Okay, I'm going to place the Eye of Armandi here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to place here. So if I want to place it there, I need to smudge a little bit just to remove these things, blah, 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 blah. And then I wanna see, but it doesn't blend right. So if I play with blended modes, I can choose this one. Blends perfect with the lighting.
Very cool. We need to welcome Misha,
Okay.
Misha up on the stage. How you doing, Misha?
Oh, Misha, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
it's
creating
Procreate.
Apple on his iPad.
I'm just gonna say it's just practice. Just practice, 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 and that's it. That's part of it. But once that you learn how to use these tools a little bit better, it will be unconscious, right? So we have these are the three powerful tools for people who can start just right without any knowledge. If you know how to use a brush in an application, you will learn how to use these three tools easily, right? Blending modes is just switching between modes. It's not that hard. Now, I have another tip for you guys. And here I'm going to tell you, James, maybe this is something that we can implement into GNT.
Ooh. Sure.
Yes. So in Mid Journey, if I let me jump, if I jump into Mid Journey,
Those that aren't familiar, Midjourney is an AI image model, text to image, and it primarily runs through a Discord server. You get a subscription to it, it's subscription only, and you use a text prompt, and then it'll actually bring the images up in Discord. And you have the option to upscale them and create different variations of them, similar to what we're doing with GNT on More. But instead of it being on a website, it's actually through a Discord server. Sorry.
okay. Okay. So, by the way, James and Misha, because I'm not looking at the chat and I'm not seeing anything, I need you guys to actually pick. While we're doing this, I want you to guys to pick each of you 10 winners, and I'm gonna send
Winners. Let's
one of
go.
the hero
I got some
cards.
good questions
Each
too.
of you.
Carl's got a
Yes.
great question, so I'm gonna work it in here in a minute when you get done with this section.
Excellent. So this is one of the things that actually I think we should implement into GMT. That would be great. Like for example, I have here this hero, right? But I want I want to have the option to make a slight change of the hero without changing it that much. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Here, if you see, there's a very subtle, that's green out will allow me to create similar heroes. And why do I want similar heroes? Because in that way, for example, I'm going to show you. For this, here I'm importing a similar hero. And I'm importing it because what I want the legs of that hero.
This is what Ryan
Just
showed.
the legs.
Yeah, Ryan showed us how
Yes,
to make multiple options, and he'd like steal an arm or steal a leg off a different version.
That's right.
Blend it into the current one.
So if we're able to make iterations of the same design, but with not that many changes, like for example here, because this is the variation is not that bad, I can just cut the legs. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna cut the legs. Check it out. Copy, paste the legs, and now I can use my eraser tool with a soft blend. Check it out, and blend it together like magic. Do you see?
Yeah.
Now, before, after. I can polish it a little bit more from here. So if with GMT we're able to do it, iterations that doesn't vary that much, we can blend together heroes and create with part of the things that we like, and now manually we can blend them together. Do you see how it looks like magic?
It really does.
Check it out, from this hero to this. That, that's right, because sometimes when you're creating with AI, you get the perfect hero, but something is just it doesn't looks great, right? And that just small thing will screw the whole design for you, because remaking it from scratch is so difficult. But if you can just, like, for example, here I didn't like the legs, so I just substitute the whole legs.
Very cool.
Hello. Okay. So this is the four tool that I mentioned here is blending together different images. The best way to blend them together, like for example, these fits. This I blended. Let me 1 second. To blend these fits, the best way to do it that doesn't look that harsh is using an eraser with a soft blend. In that way, for example, here, let me show you with this hero. You guys can see the hard edges, the square edges around, right? So if I grab this eraser, check it out. I'm just blending it together with the background. I'm erasing it, but because it's softly erasing the edges, it blends perfectly with the background. Okay? Here, I was just polishing this one. There you go.
I got a question from Carl. Carl's asking,
Okay.
when it comes time to wanting to create like the other views, a back view, a lateral view, those other parts of your composition, once you've created the frontal image, what tools do you like to use to try to create like the different sides of a character?
If I want, what I want to play with is Midjourney the same. It's just grab the image. Once that you have the image, you complete the image. What you do is just grab the description of this image. For example, here, game design artwork of person from Warcraft in the style of humanness, animal scene, blah, 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 blah. What you try to add in the beginning of the prompt, you try to add the view that you want. So you may want like a profile view, a back view, and then you need to iterate as many as you need to make it. You will have to try many times, like if you want the back, but what you do is you will grab the image. Let me show you. You will grab, for example, here in Midjourney, imagine you will place the link of the image, then you will add the description of the image, and here, back view of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you just run it, and if it doesn't come out, you try as many times until you get it perfect, right?
Yeah.
So
That's just something I've learned with AI, is that it often will not give you a perfect image of exactly what you envision in the first 4 images that pop up. But you can play with it and tweak it and run it multiple times until it gets close to what you want.
I'm gonna give you another tip. Sometimes if that character, the back is not coming that great, for example, sometimes what you could do is just grab your initial image. For example, here, I'm just gonna grab the whole image and just with the smudge tool, it doesn't have to look perfect. Just try to make it as look as is the back of the character as much as you can. Like try to make it as much as you can, right? Like just play around with it. In that way, like if we want to make it like looks like it's just the back. Doesn't have to be perfect. in that way, like you're not showing the face to the AI, and it will catch up your prompt better. Doesn't have to look perfect. The AI will correct that, but you will have to make many iterations. Okay.
Perfect. Hey, I got a couple quick announcements. We have a Finding Satoshi quest board, the Zeely quest, going on right now. And for those that are listening in and trying to get the correct answer, there's a code word for the Zeely Finding Satoshi quest. We want Gas Hero Gênesis, one word, all lowercase. That's Gas Hero Gênesis, GASHEROGENESIS, all one word, all lowercase. And he also has a whole bunch of awards that he wants to give out for those that ask good questions and participate in chat. I'm already picking out some. Clem's is going to win. Carl's going to win. We're going to choose a bunch of other people as well. So if you have questions, please type them into the text chat. Top right-hand corner, there's a little a text icon that allows you to type in chat. We'll be pulling up to 20 winners to win something cool. Are you telling them what it is, Armandi, or is it going to be a surprise?
I'm gonna send you guys all my some of my hero cards. I already said I'm gonna send you some of my hero cards, and remember, if any of my heroes get selected, I will each hero I'm making 25 cards, and I'm only giving away 20 cards. And if any of my heroes win, I will give away prizes of GMT. Like for the regular heroes that I'm making, I'm giving 5 prizes of 100 GMT. And for example, for the heroes that I'm making with the helmets, the stepping helmets, I'm giving away all the GMT. I'm giving away 10 prizes of 250 GMTs if those heroes get selected. So just to keep in mind, and it doesn't matter if you win once, if if the gods of ChatGPT choose you multiple times because you have multiple of my cards, you will win, and the one collecting all my cards will get. I'm gonna raffle something very special if someone is getting all my cards. So I'm just saying that for you guys. Okay,
hey, I got some alpha for you in the chat. Ask King is here in the chat, throwing out some phenomenal alpha. He says he's looking through some of the winners from Phase 1 for this Gas Hero design competition. He says, without a doubt, Armandi, you won some of the heroes in Phase 1. So you got some winners.
Thank you. That's amazing news for me. Excellent. That's just I'm trying to make my purpose is just making 25 heroes because 25 is my lucky number for each phase. Today someone was asking me, and yes, I did 25 heroes tanks. Now I'm trying to finish my 25 heroes DPS. I'm waiting for the other one, and I have learned so much. Like seriously, guys, just try to make my mind to learn and to do these things every day. Expand the way I'm creating things. Like seriously, using all the tools that we have available, and with AI and with all this stuff. So thank you very much. And now I'm showing you not AI, but the manual things that I enjoy to do, and it's just like I like to outline my heroes by hand. As you guys see, that's what I'm doing. But why I like to do this, to outline my heroes by hand? Because in that way, I can see the small details that I want to polish, remove, and stuff like that. Okay. Sometimes when you do it with an automatic program, doesn't get the best results that you want. But for me also, I see it as something like a meditation.
I see graphic designers do this often when they're trying to convert an image to vector as well. Is that a very similar process, or is that very different?
It's different. It depends. Here is
straight lines and try to get it to curve around the outline, right?
I don't like to do that. Like using the pen, like for example, when Ryan, I don't like the pen. I hate the pen. And the way I hate the pen is because it doesn't feel natural. Like, for example, here I'm using the Apple Pencil, and it's just like if I was outlay, like when I was a kid, it just reminds me when I was a kid, right? And that's what I like it. Like for me, it's just something that I use to relax myself and to polish my own creations. But okay, so once that you have the outline, okay, I'm not gonna finish the whole outline, but once that you have the whole outline, this is the trick that I'm giving you guys that you can do as well. So here I have my GMT Berserker, okay? I already have the outline of the hero. Once that I have the outline of the hero, I can play around with the background as much as I can.
And put them anywhere, right?
I can, for example, let's say that this cloud here, let me go to liquify. No.
Select the different layers and then play with whatever layer you want.
Yes, that's right. So for example, I want to move the background without screwing my whole character.
That's it.
So now I can polish the background.
Very cool.
Also, if I wanna, once that you outline your character, you can play around with blended. I'm gonna give you another tool. So we have, okay, so far, how many tools have I give you guys? I gave you the smudge tool, the liquify tool, the erase tool with a soft brush to try to blend different elements if they're not mixed up, and blending mode to blend different colors into layers below, okay? And now I'm jumping into these other tools that we have, and there's everywhere, like you have everywhere. We have the hue, saturation, and brightness. And what they do is like, for example, the hue which will change the color. The hue will allow you to change the color of the composition overall, okay?
I think the mistake I make, ARmandi, is when I do stuff like that, I do it on everything within the image, and it ends up being things I can't use. But I love how you're doing it for just the background. That layer on top is unchanged.
That's right. That's the thing, and that is the important part. So separate. So this is another tip. Separate your layers from your background, from your character. In that way, you can play around with the background or with the character as much as you can. So we have the hue tool, the one that you see in the bottom below on the left. Allow me to change the overall colors of the composition. Then we have saturation, and saturation will allow me to make it brighter or less colorful. Okay? And of course we have brightness, because sometimes if you want to make it pop out, if you want your character to pop out, you want to make the background a little bit darker. Or the other way around.
Cool. Okay. Some good questions come from chat. Paradox is
excellent.
Asking, do you use AI like a chat GPT to help you create the prompt that you'll then put into Mid-Journey, or you just use your imagination? And if
I
use it, well, like what tools do you like to use to help create those prompts?
I already right now I'm gonna tell you guys, after experimenting with prompts, I'm just making a mix of everything. But the last workshop, I already gave you the tool. There's a plugin in ChatGPT that will allow you to create prompts for Mid-Journey or for more. And that plugin is you need ChatGPT Plus, and the plugin is Photorealistic.
Photorealistic. Got it. Another one coming in from Freg. Freg asked that he was planning to ask, how do you erase or delete disorders that are on like fingers and feet especially? Do you always do it manual, or do you have like a trick that you use?
I do. It depends. as I show you guys, for example, at the beginning, I remove fingers manually. Like, for example, I remove the fingers in here, like something that was coming out from here. But also, I use AI to just replace the whole part. So it will depend on you. What do you like? What will be better? Sometimes, if it's just a little small thing that I'm able to remove, like for example, if I want to remove this claw, let me just do it on real time for you. Like for example, if I want to remove this claw, it's just one claw. I don't need to do a lot of work, right? So it's just one. So I just remove it manually, no problem at all.
Very cool.
But if I have to remove the whole armor, that's a lot of work. Like seriously, that's a lot of work that I will do it, but I have other tools available. So what I will do is I just replace the whole part.
Yeah, because you'll create a different AI image, capture the feed off the other one, and just transpose them over as a new layer. Like it. He's got a follow-up question too. He's asking how strong of a PC do you need in order to run all of these tools? I know the answer, but I want to hear you say
it. Procreate, you need an iPad.
Right?
Yep. Yes.
An iPad's not as strong as like a big fancy PC, but you don't need a big fancy PC for this. You can literally run it on your iPad. Yeah.
So I have a very powerful iPad. My iPad is an iPad Pro with 16 gigs with an M2. Okay? So no M1, it's M1. So it's very powerful. I think it's more powerful than the Mac that I have. It's an i9, Intel i9 with 32 gigs. It's more powerful, the M1, than this laptop. But Procreate doesn't need that much. Like you can use a regular iPad, like the new ones, with your Apple Pencil, and you won't have any trouble. Like the only thing that you will have, the advantage that you have with Procreate is that instead of like you will have many layers. But what I'm saying is, like for example here, I can create as 100 layers. That's the only advantage that you have from having a powerful iPad. If your iPad is not that powerful, you will just have like 30 layers. But for the regular people, 30 layers is not. It's enough. Like seriously.
Sure. Clem's ask, did all of your heroes that you're designing start from a prompt? Or were there times at which you like uploaded an image and then had the AI build off of like a concept image and then like expand out from there?
I'm constantly doing that. That's what I'm saying, that I'm doing a mixed up of all the tools, because I'm constantly looking images, uploading them to an AIs, looking prompts, mixing them with each other. Like I'm constantly doing that, and I'm trying to select the ones that I like the most. Like if you guys jump into my, for example, in Midjourney, if I trigger out my information right now. So I have created, well, you guys can see here, it's around 12,000 images.
Nice.
With 12,000, no, almost 13,000 images with around 268 hours of processing on Midjourney. Just on Midjourney, and I'm using many other tools, right? So I'm constantly pushing myself. If I see an image that I like, I grab it and I try to replicate that, and then you will get many things. As I'm saying, for people who are learning to understand things, GMT is the best way. Here I cannot show you guys with my iPad because I cannot get into the GMT generation with the iPad, but it's the faster way. And actually, I realized that GMT already add negative prompts. So you have one line. You have one line to for example, you go to photorealistic. You have one line that photorealistic will give you. You just place it there into GMT, and then you run it. And if you don't like some things, you rerun that with a negative prompt of the things that you didn't like, And that's it, as simple and as fast as that on GNT. That's the best way. And once that you have those images, you move them into an application like the ones that I'm showing you, like Procreate or Affinity or whatever, and you just polish those. Talking about polishing, another trick for you guys. Sometimes your images come a little bit blurry, okay? You go to sharpen, and sometimes sharpen, check it out this. I don't know in how much definition, I don't know if you can appreciate how it's changing the definition of this image when I'm sharpening.
That's cool. Very cool. Paradox is asking the photorealistic plugin that you mentioned, that's for the ChatGPT paid version, correct?
That's right. It's for ChatGPT 4 paid version. But guys, seriously, you don't need to use photorealistic. You just need to browse around, prompts everywhere around, and just substitute words for the design that you like. Like instead of grabbing, like let's imagine that you grab a prompt that you really like from something, and that prompt says soldier blah 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 blah. Just change soldier for hunter or for warrior, and you will get the results. Like you don't need to create the prompts from scratch.
Very cool. Paradox is asking alternatives to Apple software, but for a Windows desktop computer, like a Photoshop, GIMP, Blender. Do you have any favorites that you would recommend?
Yes, Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo. Those are the cheapest and the best ones for me, and they're available on Windows. And it's just one-time pay, and I've been used them a lot. So those are pretty good. Of course, there's learning curve learning these programs, right? But it's not that bad. So I really recommend these two for Affinity Photo.
The Devil is asking a follow-up to that as well. If you've used Photoshop in the past, and like, what do you prefer, Photoshop versus Procreate?
I use them all. What I like with the thing that I like with Procreate is that I'm using it with my Apple Pencil. Yeah. So, and because the interface of Procreate is very, very minimalistic but very powerful. So it doesn't have, like, as you guys, if you see the interface, it's not that, like, all the tools, you don't see that many tools. But once that you learn what each tool does, it's super powerful. And the Apple Pencil allowed me, like, so the reason why, for me, the Apple Pencil is my most powerful tool is because we've learned since we were child to use a pen. So pretty much we use it unconsciously. And once that you use something unconsciously, it liberates energy to do something else. So for me, I don't need to think what I need to do with my Apple Pencil. I just think and it just automatically does. So that's the reason why I think Procreate is so powerful. But Photoshop is so powerful. Like I'm using right now with the AI tools that Photoshop is giving us, replacing things. It's the same. Like, for example, with Photoshop, let me show you. With Photoshop, with the new AI tools, you can just select this hand, and Photoshop will prompt you to just change that. And you will need to make many iterations to make it right. But sometimes it's just with one hit.
Just nail it.
If I wanted to change,
type in a sub.
That's right. Just nail it.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's the thing with Procreate. Yeah, you were going to say something, Michelle?
Sure. Sometimes you start with that tool and then you have to clean it up, right, ARmandi?
That's right. So here is just like, we're trying to do as much as possible with the less work as possible, but without being lazy. Okay, so that's it. So if you have a tool that will allow you to replace these hands without any hassle, just do it. Like, just do it. If you want to polish it a little bit more, well, you need to put a little bit more work. But the options, I'm just saying, if you learn to use, for example, just the AI tool of Photoshop, it will be super powerful. You can create amazing heroes with it, like seriously. But you will need to adapt to that specific tool. And the more you use it, you will see the limitations. And that's the thing. Understanding the limitations of each tools, like for example with GNT, we have some limitations. With Mid Journey, we have limitations. Procreate, like the more you use them, the more you will learn the limitation of each software, and then you can use other ones to complement each other. That's the interesting part. And that's what I'm encourage people to experiment with each other. That's why try to use Midjourney, try to use GNT every day. In that way, you will learn what can you do, what cannot you can't do, and then mix them each other.
You know, Armandi, I feel like you need a catchphrase that has to do with like using those things like Midjourney or GNT or these different tools every day. If you're gonna try to come up with a catchphrase, what would you have?
What will I come out with a catchphrase to you?
Yeah. Yeah, like something
Okay.
like you're embracing using these different tools. I mean, what catchphrase could that possibly be?
Oh my God. Embrace the tool. Embrace the tool. Embrace the tools. The tools. I'm gonna say it. But if you wanna double sense, embrace the tool. Embrace the tool, understand the tool, and to understand the tool is to understand what can you do with it and what you can't.
Sure.
And once, because that's the important part. Instead of getting frustrated because GNT doesn't do something that Midjourney does, just learn what can you do with that, and maybe you can mix it up with these other tools, and because are the ones that you have available, and you will grow like that.
Very cool. Brother, an hour disappeared immediately.
Excellent.
Like so
It
crazy.
was super fast.
I want to thank you for coming up. Misha, thank you for being up here and helping. The tips that you gave were just amazing. If anybody listening now wants to reach out and ask extra advice or see what you're doing, what you're building, your collections, where would they find you on social media, and where would they find you on like the More website for your collections and stuff that are out there?
That's right. So I'm in Twitter right now. Is ARmandi Lion, and in Instagram I'm ARmandi Art, and on Discord it's ARmandi Art as well. Which one else I'm missing?
How about More?
What
Where
other
can they find you on More?
And More? How can I give you? It's ARmandi, but how can with my
The name of
address
the
or
collection,
how
right?
should?
They can find you through the collection name.
That's right. I'm one of the first, the Genesis NFTs in more launch pad. So if you guys look for crypto archetypes, you will find uh, my contact there.
Very cool. I pulled a bunch of names: Carl and Clems and Paradox and on Patreon and the Devil and Freg. How do you want them to get their Polygon wallets to you so that you can get them some more?
Excellent, guys. Send me your Polygon wallet, mentioning the password, the secret password that you already gave to
Gas
people from
Heroes
Silly
all one
on
word.
Twitter.
Yeah.
On Twitter, and I will send you guys some of my cool cards that I saved those cards for today's workshop. So I'm gonna send you 2 of each cards to you guys.
Very cool. Follow Armandi on Twitter. Send him a DM. Give him the Zeely password that we gave out, along with your Polygon wallet, and he will have a Polygon hero card, right? A card coming your way. Very cool. Misha, how about yourself?
That's right.
What's going to find yourself? What's your stuff, brother? Ooh. Very cool. There's some cool tricks like that with GNT too that I haven't seen anybody really put out a guide for yet. But we need to do a session just on GNT here. There's some really cool stuff that you can do once you kind of figure out those secrets, those little hidden gems. For sure. I appreciate you both.
Excellent. No, James, thank you for thank you for being here, James. I know you're being super busy now. Any updates that we need to hear from Gas Hero that you can give us, the white paper updates or something?
Oh, I wish. There's so much alpha coming out about Gas Hero. I'd probably be in a lot of trouble if I released too much secret stuff right now. Keep your eyes peeled here in the Discord server. This is a great place to be. Gas King and this Discord server, there's a lot of information that comes out here. Make sure you're following the Gas Hero official Twitter account. Pay attention to the competition we have going on right now with GNT. There's 120,000 GMT going out for those that are creating images on More and posting them. And then, of course, we got the user-generated content competition going on for all the different heroes as well. And there's a lot that you get out of that. You get 2,084 GMT. If you win, it sounds like ARmandi's got some winners. Maybe Clem's has some winners and some others that are in chat, which is really cool. You get a 2% royalty forever on that character. I think you get a t-shirt that comes along with it too, and I'm sure some other really cool stuff. So pay attention what's going on. There's a lot of things that you can win and a lot of excitement and a lot of new phases of that white paper coming out with more details very, very soon. So a lot on the table for Gas Hero, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been privy to a lot of hidden details, and I'm excited for you guys to learn about all of it.
And we are, and we can see here the international community, right, from all around, from Japan, from everywhere. So, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you guys got some tips for your heroes, and just keep creating. And the only thing is just embrace the tool that you have available for you, and try to keep to grab what's work for others. And that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, James, Misha. And see you around. Do we have another workshop planned from other person, James, or not yet?
We do. I think we got 3 or 4 more in the works. I don't know if we've announced the dates on any of those yet, but if you guys pay attention here to the event section in Discord and to the Gas Hero official Twitter account, we'll get those announced out. But yeah, we've got some more planned. And we'd love to have you guys come on again too, if you want to at some point.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure being with you guys. Like, you're my family now.
Same. Love you guys. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you guys all soon.
Bye, guys. See you.